So, good morning, everybody. Myself, Acharya Vishvendra, and today I'm going to discuss something, share my views on the matter waves. So, matter waves itself sounds to be a very, uh, you know, fuzzy type of word because we assume matter is a different thing, wave is a different thing. Matter is something which can be tasted, which can be touched, which can be interacted by the five senses. But wave is something which causes matter to interact in a certain way. Let's take the example of river water. Just feel that you are observing, you are seeing the top of a layer of a lake. So it's silent, so everything is silent over there. Suppose you drop a stone into the lake. So when you drop this stone, then waves will be formed, disturbances will be created, and you will see circles moving outward from the center where you put that particular stone. Now you just observe two things. One thing is the molecules of the water which are oscillating vertically, and another is a transfer of the motion from one layer to another. So here matter is the water molecules and wave is that pattern, or more specifically the disturbance which gets transferred from one layer to another. So in a way, wave is something that causes matter to change its state, to change the function corresponding to that particular matter. That function may be the position, velocity, acceleration, pressure, momentum, impulse. There can be many physical properties associated with those particular with those particular materialistic particles. And wave is the energy form which causes them to go through the disturbances. So that explains how things are related. Now, the concept of matter waves came into existence when light, which was initially assumed to be made up of corpuscles or the particles as proposed by Sir Isaac Newton, then it was proposed by Sir Christian Huygens that it's a wave. So the perspective changed from being a particle or being matter to wave. Then again, the wave theory was unable to explain the photoelectric effect, and for explaining that, the concept of photons was introduced. So that perspective changed from matter itself in another way. So the perspective kept on changing. That means we cannot explicitly say that light is a wave or it's a particle, it's a matter or it's a wave. So that was the confusion, because we use uh, the concept of nature of light to explain the experiments. And as experiments changed, the perspective has to be changed to adapt to to explain those things to us. That is how we perceive the universe. We just observe some patterns happening in the universe, and we try to explain those patterns with the help of the theoretical model or the theoretical frameworks. But every theory that we make is limited due to the perception of human mind brain system. We focus on a particular event, and for that particular event there is a certain frequency domain in which that event is explained. But there may be things which are beyond, there are certain things which are not under observation, and when those things changes, the results may get changed. Now the problem came when light was assumed to be of having a dual nature. Then there was a scientist, De Broglie. He thought in the reverse way, that if light can behave as matter, can matter behave as a wave? And certain experiments were performed. Uh, and those experiments proved the wave nature of even electrons, or even the iodine atoms, which are very heavy, iodine molecules, which are very heavy. They also showed wave-like properties when they are diffracted using crystal beam diffraction. Then certain peaks are obtained at certain angles, as done by the interference of waves. So We can say that under suitable conditions, using electron diffraction experiment as done by Bragg and many other scientists, it was observed that electrons behave as a wave and a sharp peak is formed. The sharp peak corresponds to the wave nature of electrons. So de Broglie concluded these things and analyzed that matter can also behave as a wave and wave can also behave as matter. And he gave the concept of matter waves and gave the concept that wavelength of those matter waves can be given as h upon mv, and which was the another explanation. So, but if we observe closely, just think about us, about yourself. So what you are is comprising of matter and the wave. The brain, for example, corresponds to the matter. In any human being, we can feel where his brain is. If we dissect him, certainly we are going to find the brain. Various parts of the brain, various things, we can find it physically. But if we think about the mind, that mind does not exist. It cannot be physically located and it cannot be analyzed by the five senses. But we know that mind and brain work together as a system, and whatever we do achieve in life is because of the mind brain as a system. Independently, there is no output involved. If there is a dead person, he has got his brain, but he cannot do anything. Similarly, if the person is without the brain, you just took the brain out of the person just for a thinking experiment, then mind alone can't do anything, and we don't know that mind exists or not, because it's a debatable question. It's mind cannot be proved by any physical experiment because it's metaphysical. It has, you can say that it's perceived from the sixth sense, and the five senses are unable to see for its logic. Just ask yourself, sometimes you feel somebody insulted you and you feel insult, you don't feel something good. It has certainly got impact on the physicality. Your BP will fluctuate, your stress level will change, there will be change in you, change in the structure of the brain, change in the way things are going on inside your body. But you cannot tell that why you are upset. Where is the mood? Where are the if we see for the logics, it's said that certain hormones are introduced into the blood that cause us to feel in a way. But that is also the physical explanation, the flow of the hormones. The mystery here is how the impact of insult caused your brain to release certain hormones into the bloodstream. So it is said that it is well explained that your mood or what you feel like is because of the flow of hormones in the blood. That is quite explainable, quite understandable. But mystery is how your brain is forced or stimulated to release certain hormones that induces a feeling of happiness or sadness or another sort of feeling in you. So that is quite a mystery. And that mystery can be explained if we assume that both mind and brain exist there, or both matter and wave exist there, and both are causing matter to work in a certain way or to feel in a certain way. So that is the very simple explanation where you can understand the concept of matter waves. Within you, the brain is the matter and the mind is like a wave, and both of these work together, which I call as the mind brain system. And the purpose of life is only through the mind brain system there is certain things which are even beyond the mind, the consciousness. It's at another level, it's into the higher dimension. The consciousness is getting access to the higher dimensions, and that is the only purpose of life. Just ask yourself, what is purpose of your living? Any species just he has the idea of surviving and reproducing, but humans can think beyond that. From where we come, from where life come, from where mind came, and it interacted with the body of a newborn baby. And what happens after death? What will happen after death? Where it goes? Brain is all there. The materialistic things are there. Matter is there. But the something which was causing matter to work in a certain way, that got lost. So that we call as the consciousness or the mind, or something, or it's generally the metaphysical dimensions of life. So we can say that if we observe anything, then certainly there is a relation of matter with a wave, and that wave causes that matter to change, to feel, to do certain things. So the concept of matter waves can be easily related to ourselves, the brain and the mind concept. So mind brain system is itself the matter wave concept when speaking in a metaphysical dimension. Although if explained physically, it can also be explained that suppose there is a car and the car is moving with a certain velocity in space. So wherever the car will go, certainly the energy of the car will go with the car itself. Car is the physical thing, but the energy caused by it, whenever it will go, the air pressure will change, sound pressure will change, magnitudes of electric and magnetic fields can change if it's emitting light in a certain way. So if car moves from point A to point B, then along with the transfer of the matter of the car, there is a transfer of energy fields also, or the wave field also. So that same thing we can apply to everything. Take any piece of matter in the universe. When it moves from one point to another, it will interact with the environment, with the surrounding, and it will cause its external things to change, to stimulate, and that it will disturb the surrounding, and that disturbance is the wave itself, because wave itself is nothing but the disturbance created in the medium. Now ask yourself, what is that disturbance? Disturbance may be the pressure of air, maybe the electric field in the area, maybe the magnetic field, maybe the energies associated. So we can say that any piece of matter is capable to change, or to create the disturbance, or to change the physical dimensions of that particular space where it goes. So whenever matter goes, there is an associated wave which goes with it, and which is capable to change the surrounding, or to cause the disturbance in the surrounding. So that explains matter waves in a very general way, and you can relate to it. If you like it, thank you and have a nice day. So if you have any doubt, you can ask in the doubts comment section. But this was one of my perspective which I contemplate through a series of thought experiments. And what I believe is life, the entire universe even itself, is nothing but a matter wave. Matter and wave interacting with each other in a certain way, causing certain things, causing the reactions. And those reactions are making things live. It is said that life is, as we observe, the entire universe is within the brain itself, which we call as the Boltzmann brain. You can, so is the topic on the net itself, the Boltzmann brain. As we say that everything God lies everywhere as per the concept of mythology, it is because everything is happening within that Boltzmann brain itself. And we can say that if we analyze the brain itself, the structure of the brain is reminiscent of the structure of the universe. There are as many neural connections, semantic connections in the brain as there are stars in the galaxies. About 86 billion stars are there, and about the same neural patterns can be found in the human mind-brain system on an average. So if we assume that the entire universe is itself the brain of the God, then we can explain that why it is said that God is present everywhere. So every universe, every information that we think related to the universe is because we may be present within even a single cell of the brain of the God, which we call as the Boltzmann brain. And for getting out of that, you need to have higher dimensions perspective. You need to have higher dimensions. You need to have access to the higher dimensions, which is very possible through meditation. And if you really want to experience the higher dimensions of life, you can refer to some of my books which are available on Amazon, Flipkart and Notion Press, like Who Am I? It corresponds to this, it deals with the things that how to have access to the higher dimensions of life, how to know yourself, what you are. You are the matter or the wave or the energy or the information or the process, or positive, negative, zero, what you are. So you can refer to that. Just search Who Am I by Acharya Vishvendra on Google, YouTube, Amazon, Flipkart and Notion Press, and you can have access to the book. Similarly, if you are looking for making up skills, learning up skills, you can refer to my book, that How to Develop Mental Skills for Competitive Exams. If you are troubled by the emotions, you can refer to the book How to Develop EQ for Competitive Exams. So I have done a phenomenal work on different topics related to physics, metaphysics, spiritualism, education, psychology. You can search my name on the net itself and can make use of my work. Thank you and have a nice day.